I think your coffee is trying to get away from you.
Not that easy.
Hello.
Hello there.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. I have to say, it's actually a beautiful, beautiful day here in Portland. I am so happy to see the sun. And
You always start before I get settled in.
Oh.
It's one of our fortes. One of our traditions that we do every time.
yeah, well, you get to see behind scenes.
Exactly.
Okay, next time I'll sit here quietly
I mean,
until you're ready.
I can multitask. I can tighten nuts and do other things at the same time.
Yeah.
I am SumOne.
I am Anezka.
Welcome to another episode.
Hi. Of
Everything
and nothing. Everything and nothing.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Our new sound setup's treating us well.
Yeah, love it.
Everything's nice.
Yeah.
Besides the fact I didn't sleep last night, everything's perfect.
I know. I had one of those nights a couple of nights ago. That's never any fun. I don't like it when I don't get a good night's rest.
Nope.
The next day's a little funky doodle.
Yeah, you got zombie Dane today.
Yeah. Zombie ding. Well, you sound pretty good for a zombie ding.
Yeah, well, I'm trying.
For a zombie someone.
We're all waking up and trying.
Yeah,
About the best
exactly.
we can do.
Exactly. Well, and I just want to say also Happy New Year, Happy Lunar New Year to everybody, because we have crossed that threshold, and here is the fire horse. Giddy up, mother trucker.
Why is the Chinese New Year and the Lunar New Year the same thing? Are they all about the moon over there? Or is it
Well,
two
yeah,
different?
it is absolutely based on the lunar calendar. So it started on new moon, and now it's going to end on March 3rd, I believe, which is a full moon.
Okay.
And so it's called Lunar New Year because for those people who aren't Chinese. It's,
okay.
right? Chinese New Year is,
So it's the same thing.
but
Lunar,
right,
Chinese,
lunar,
interchangeable.
Chinese, but we're using a different name. And I have
Got
to, can I just tell a really funny story?
Sure.
So your nephew, Arlo, my grandson,
Yeah.
he knows a family who is of Korean descent, and they were driving. She carpools, and she's like, "Oh yeah," because Arlo was saying, "Yeah, Chinese New Year." They were talking about that. She's like, "Well, we call it Lunar New Year because we're not Chinese." And Arlo's response was, "Well, I'm Chinese, so I'm Chinese, so I call it Chinese New Year."
Yep. I'm Chinese too.
I just thought that was so cute because he does clearings with me and feng shui work, and so he's only known it as Chinese. So
He's a 6-year-old. Just to
yeah, he's a
let
6-year-old.
you all
So
know.
yeah, so I thought that was really cute that he referred to himself because he's been with me in the philosophy that
I mean,
I'm Chinese, so I call it Chinese
aren't
New Year.
we all Chinese, really?
And
little
everything, and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and nothing. Yeah. Anyway, I just had to share that story. It was so cute.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah. So here we are, giddy upping and galloping away.
Galloping and yeehawing and neighing.
Dang.
Yep.
They're fire on our butt.
Hopefully not there.
At least for that movement.
Under
Giddy
your
up.
butt, maybe.
Yeah.
Not in your butt.
Okay, maybe not. Sorry. Okay, we're digressing here. So let's get back to it.
I know whose turn it is.
It's mine.
It is.
I know, because last week I was like, yeah. I don't know why it is that going second always seems more fun because you're kind of warmed up, I guess. Yeah, it's like usually I have something sitting on my heart weeks ahead of time, and that didn't happen this time. I have been going through a lot of transformation. And I have to say this last week for me personally was really effing hard. Actually, the last 2 weeks. This whole February has been very challenging for me personally. So I had a kind of personal breakthrough. And so the word that I want to bring to the table today is pain.
Pain.
But not pain. I mean, there's so many kinds of pain, right? But I want to talk about pain in the context of can pain be holy? Can it be sacred? Can pain, and I mean, we can talk about all kinds of pain,
Yeah.
but
We'll
that's
have to.
that's the concept that came up to me
Oh, yeah.
as I've been resisting pain in many different forms. And then I just was sitting on the couch and I had a breakthrough like, oh my God, pain is actually quite holy.
Yeah, I can already tell it's going to be painful.
So anyway, what, just off the top of your head, how does that, or
Yeah, how's it strike me?
how's it strike you?
Pain is a well, universal teacher for sure. You know, teaches you fire is hot, teaches you not to touch the stove, teaches you what to not look for in relationships and friendships and partners. You know, that heartbreak, that's a real pain. It teaches you, it teaches you how to avoid and how to navigate a little bit. Is it holy? I mean, I don't know. That's a big question. I mean, of course, if you frame it as everything's holy, then of course pain's holy. It's necessary, and it's a hell of a professor in this school of life. Yeah, that's kind of my first pass. What do you think pain is?
Yeah. Well, I mean, pain is something that, I don't know. I used to think that I had more pain than other people in my life. I mean, I really do feel like I've had a very challenging life, but I understand as I'm getting to the end of my life that that's naive, wrong. There's nuances of pain and everyone's in it. And I think that's what started this whole topic for me about pain is I was sitting on the couch because I've been struggling a lot this last month. And I was watching AM Northwest, and there was a woman who wrote a book, and she was talking about pain, you know, and she said one of the things that we as humans forget is that every single person around you is experiencing pain every day, in some way, shape, or form. Stub your toe, pain of a heart, pain of a fear you're scared of.
Backache,
right.
Something.
You know, something. And so she's like, you know, the first thing is to remember is like, you're never alone. And that really struck me because this last month I've been feeling really alone and suffering in my own pain about the state of the world, about the transition of my life, about feeling lost and depressed sometimes. I mean, just suffering. And when she said that, something like just kind of clicked on for me. And suddenly it reminded me is the same feeling I felt as I feel like when we come to these podcasts of not feeling alone and feeling some sort of connection to something else besides being in the pain.
Yeah.
And the initial reaction is usually to resist it in any way, shape, or form. Numb it, deny it, blame it somewhere else, eat it away, watch TV, you know, to shove it away in any way I can to not feel it.
Well, and another interesting point is that pain's also something you choose. It's kind of like contextual. It's like something that you have to kind of agree to experience. And as you experience more of it, it's easier to kind of just turn it into background noise, right? So first time you eat spicy food, it burns really bad, right? But as you practice it, as you build up a tolerance to it, it just becomes part of a tasteful experience, right?
Yeah.
So I think other types of pain probably operate similarly. Like when you're a baby, when you're a kid, you fall down, you scrape your knee,
Yeah.
everything's this big deal. It's world ending. You just want to cry. Give me my mommy.
Yeah.
Give me a blanket. Give me a candy. Whatever. It's like it's a huge deal. But you grow up. You know, I worked schluffing boxes in warehouses and working around machinery and stubbing my feet and smashing my shins on things over and over and over again. And like, you get to the point where like you don't even notice until the end of the day. You know, sitting on your bed and you take your pants off, put your pajamas on. You're like, oh shit, you know. Got another wound. Got another scar to add to the list.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pain has to be either to some degree chosen to be pain, right? And whether it comes with more experience that we can get past that and push further, I'm not entirely sure.
Well, that's interesting because I do think that pain in of itself is kind of woven into the fabric of being a human being. So we don't get to choose, am I going to feel pain or not feel pain? I think it's a hardwiring thing.
Yeah.
But I think we do get to choose our perspective of it and what things can we learn to maybe like, I don't think I want to go down that road. Like, let's do something different. Let's do something better, you know? And then there's some pain that, you know, is out of our control, and you have to learn how to deal with that. You know, like when I got cancer, it wasn't like I could just feel like, oh, you know what? I don't want to choose this. I'm going to choose something else. Like, nope, sorry, here you go. How I dealt with it before, during, and after, that was all my choice. And those were some really hard lessons because I wanted to just to be in victim or, push it away or deny, and I had to really get real. But yeah, I think that you're right. There are parts of it we can choose. But then there are also parts that, it's going to happen. It's just going to happen.
It's part of the experience for sure.
And so I guess it's like, what do we do with that? Like, how can, again, it's like how can I use pain to best serve me?
What can I learn from it?
And what can I learn from it?
Yeah.
Like, do you have any examples that come to mind of something painful that you've been going through that you've maybe used it to learn from?
I don't feel pain.
Bullshit.
Got a high tolerance.
Yeah.
No, I any lessons that I've learned from it? I mean, I gave some obvious kind of examples, but not so much. Yeah. I'm kind of at a dead end with that one.
Well, I can think of something recently, like what spurred this on and why I kind of went to changing my perspective, start looking at pain as a friend and as something that's kind of like sacred and holy, because it's kind of like an opportunity. I'm becoming aware consciously. It's an opportunity for me. It's saying change something. Change something. Something's not right. Something's out of alignment. Something isn't fitting. This relationship's done. That job's done. You're eating too much sugar. Your body's whatever it is. It's actually a holy gift I'm beginning to see, because it's a tool to say, hey, something's not lining up for you. Like, hello. And so for me recently, I've been really feeling, been having another round of dealing with codependence. And that's something that I've really struggled with my whole life. And the codependence is, it's like getting into unhealthy relationships, and using outside authority and people and things to get my nourishment from. And it's really caused a lot of problems, like staying in unhealthy work things too long, staying in unhealthy relationships, overriding what I feel like is right for me. Like right now I'm trying to move out of a work situation, but because I'm in a codependent relationship with this one client, which I absolutely love, my lines keep getting blurred. I keep saying like, this is going to be the last time. And then I step over that and do more. And so, so I've been using that pain of feeling uncomfortable and being angry and like, why don't, and realizing that the pain is showing me like, go inside and create a healthy emotional independence and kind of connected to that love that's inside. And that's where I get my nourishment. So I've been trying to practice when I'm feeling pain, rather than turn the TV on or start bad-mouthing somebody, it's like I stop and sit and go into it and like, oh, okay, what kind of nourishment am I needing right now, and how can I give it to myself? So that's a new way that I've been using pain.
Yeah. Pain of the teacher.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah. Yeah. But anyway, and yeah, so I'll just keep, but the other part is that, we forget.
Yeah, I've gone through cycles for sure where I'm very much attuned to my pain and able to kind of see it for what it is and learn and pivot on the spot and make adjustments. Being in like, adventure mode, being in just flow state, I think kind of puts you in tune with that. And I've also been in times where I very much am kind of hiding from it. I'm kind of cloistering away from it and, avoiding it, just watching videos and just, doing things on the screen and, trying to avoid whatever the inevitable signs in front of me are. And I've been in that later phase for a bit over the last few months for sure. And I don't really know what's painful or why it's painful, but I'm gonna have to pay attention and dive a little deeper.
Yeah. And because it's also that question of like, well, what's
causing the pain?
What's causing it?
Yeah. It's not
What's
I think for a lot of people, it's not always so obvious. Even
mm-hmm.
physical pain. Like I remember going to the dentist not too long ago, and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, I have some pain right here in this tooth." And they're like, "Oh, well, that tooth looks fine." I'm like, "No, I have pain right there." And the dentist was like, "Oh, well, a lot of times patients don't know where their pain's coming from." So like, even physically, I think a lot of people get that wrong, get that confused. Like we cross signals and don't really understand how the system of pain works. So it's good to be conscious of, because it exists within us for a very important reason. It's there,
Yeah.
through millions of years of evolution, or through divine creation, or for whatever purpose it's here. It's a tool that we have to use. So why not be an expert?
Yeah. 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 And then, I mean, like everything we talk about, I feel it always boils down to like observation, like
Watching.
observing. And the next one I would say is inquiry. I'm constantly, like you just said, like, where's that coming from? Or like, what's holding me back? Because sometimes the way I'm trying to keep myself safe is pain, because it's keeping me from being my most successful, joyful self, And I've also been experiencing that in like my business transition, right? Because I'm putting one business down and I'm starting all over in the technical world of podcasts and books and things like that. And so it's like there's been a lot of pain I've noticed, because there's a lot of ways I've been holding myself back. And like you said, it's like, well, where is that pain? Like, where is that thing that's causing that pain, that fear, that constriction?
Yeah.
And then once you know it, though, then there's another big step.
Now you got to do something about it. Yeah. It'd be like
Right?
if you put your hand on a stove and your entire body burned and you didn't know what to move, and you sit there burning, like, oh, well, I don't know what to do, right? But yeah, you got to pinpoint what the issue is before you can solve it.
Yeah.
And
then I think there's that courage thing we've talked about before. It's like, again, there's that observation is like, well, what's the worst thing that'll happen? Like, I don't know. And this could be applied to anything, health, relationships, love, whatever. It's like, but
yeah, I will say physically, when I was working UPS, I was abusing my body pretty good.
yeah,
And my back was hurting bad.
Yeah, you
After
were in a
about a
bad
year
way.
working there, my back was crushed. And I know other drivers too who have had very similar experiences. And that was a sign. That was a sign. I didn't want to listen to it. I couldn't listen to it. I couldn't afford to listen to it, right? And I had to keep showing up. I had to keep working the 12, 14-hour days. And, I eventually lost my job or resigned due to that back injury. I just couldn't do it anymore. That was like 2.5, 3 years. And it took a while. It took a while to figure out what was causing it exactly. I knew I had messed something up, but through time and effort and exercise and weightlifting, I did eventually, over the course of probably 6 months to a year, get my back to a place where, there's no longer any pain. So paying attention to the signs and making those shifts probably earlier than not, will do you a lot of good down the road.
Yeah. And even if it's a tiny shift, it doesn't always have to be everything all at once, because that's been my saving grace lately with pain is, is just recognizing that, first of all, allowing myself permission to have it, and then listening into what it is about, and then trying to take even one step. Like yesterday, I've been sick and I had been out of the house, and I was like, just a tiny walk. I don't have to go do tons of stuff, but I just got out of the house and I just went for a really small walk, and it really made a difference. It made a difference in my body. It made a difference in my attitude, and then that was enough. I could go home and sit and rest and do other things. So, yeah. So I guess the main thing that is just, I'm just grateful, because I feel like part of my extra painful suffering this last month has been because I haven't been looking, and I've been kind of avoiding and resisting and like, oh, I don't want this pain and I don't want this, and so let's watch this and let's do that, and it's just been creating more suffering. And then when I just had that change of perspective, like, it's holy. Like, how can I think of this as a gift instead of something that's punishing me.
Pain's important. So listen.
Yes.
Pay attention.
Yes.
Suffer.
Yeah.
And learn from it.
Holy suffering. Which that could be a whole podcast too, again, the religious aspect of it. And I'm not saying that, but.
Oh, that is interesting. Yeah.
Right? Because that is.
I mean, yeah, you have religions that actively practice suffering as a form of penance.
Yeah. Which I'm not into that guilty, you're an awful person and you need to suffer forever because you're a heathen. I'm not into that at all.
What do they call it? Self-flagellation?
Yeah, I don't know.
Self-flatulence?
Yeah. I mean,
That one?
I don't know. Well, I mean, I did experience some of that growing up though, you know, at least coming from a Mormonism background. I mean, there was like, you know, like there did feel like a lot of pain, you know, like not worthy enough and trying to be perfect. And, you know, I'm not a big fan of that. Not a big fan of that at all. But but the difference that I'm bringing to the page is like thinking it more as like this gift for all humanity so that we could evolve and be better and do better.
Whew, what a gift.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's not going away. Anyway, I don't know. I feel pretty complete. So maybe it sparks a little questioning within your own self about your own pain and where you can change your perspective and allow it to guide and help you instead of weigh you down and create more problems.
Yeah, listen to your signals. Pay attention to what you feel.
Yeah.
Become an expert in you.
Yeah, become an expert in you. That's what I'm working on.
Uology 101.
I like that, uology. Oh, all right. Well, I think that's it for me. Are you here? Are you done?
I'm here, and
done?
I'm ready for an intermission if you
All
want.
right, we'll take a break. Thanks. We'll see you in a minute.
Are you tired of being in a lot of pain, working many hours, grinding your body into the dust, and you just can't handle it anymore? You and your friends suffering, working all day long. Well, we got a product for you. Bell Shell. Give yourself an edge. Help make carrying things easier. Guaranteed. Hey.
I purposely didn't start early this time.
Yep. It's endearing, but when I have to thread a needle through the haystack of a cable, I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna look like a doofus over here.
Not possible.
Yeah, you're right on that.
Not possible.
Roll round.
Yeah, well,
2.
welcome back, everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good intermission. We definitely had the best intermission possible. Mm-hmm. I guess it's my turn to jump into a topic here, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
I brought one word.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Let's have at it, I guess. I didn't really think about it much. It just kind of came to me a few days ago, and I was like, that'd be interesting to talk about. Let's see if it actually is.
Okay.
The word is belief. Belief. It cuts two angles. It cuts two ways. It can be a very positive force and a very detrimental force in life, I do feel.
Yeah.
What initially comes to your mind just pondering this one word?
Belief.
Belief.
Well, I mean, I always take it down to believe. I don't know why it's harder for me to think about belief
Believe.
than believe. I don't know what that is about for my brain. But what would you say the definition of belief is?
Well, I asked you first, but I will go ahead.
No.
I think belief is a form of understanding the world which you hold so dearly that your actions resonate with that and reflect that. Like it's something that you live by, something that can be seen in the way that you interact with the world in a way that displays how your inner workings work if somebody was to look deep enough.
Yeah, so belief in everything, like who you are, like even belief in pain, how you look at pain, how you operate your personality, like belief in your family structure, it's kind of like the matrix of a human being is based on belief.
I think the main crux we find the word believe and belief in is in ideologies. We talk a lot about religion. Believing in some sort of hope or some sort of faith is obviously faith is rooted in belief, belief in something greater than yourself, a greater purpose, which I would say in a lot of cases can be a positive force. I think having hope and having belief for a brighter future gives one purpose that we can then take into waking up in the morning and motivate us to pursue whatever beautiful ends that we hope to create here on this planet. At the same time,
Go ahead. No.
At the same time, I also find that belief can be very detrimental to a person. There's the old phrase, how can you fill a cup if it's already full? And when you think you know everything, when you believe that you've already got the answers in one form or a million others, because there's so many different variations of religious dogma and political ideology and radical belief for racists and all sorts of ists across the world. When you find yourself in one of these monopoly of ideas where everything's invested and the world is one way, you inevitably narrow your own mind to a point that you can no longer stop learning or evolving mentally and spiritually. It pigeonholes you into being this character that you've defined yourself as in this certain subset of beliefs.
Yeah, because I was just thinking about how, just looking at the political, it's hard not to look at the politics of our world right now.
Oh yeah, they're everywhere.
It's so in our face every day, saturated. And you can see how the negative aspects of belief are just playing out everywhere all day long. From the microcosm of friends and family and their beliefs, to, the bigger playing field. And you're right. It's like when I think about belief, even in myself, it can really block me, because once I think that I've had enough experience and this is now what this looks like, and so now I've formed a whole belief around that, a whole universe of whatever that thing is and how it operates and who's connected and who's involved and all that, then it kind of gets locked into this form. And then if anything comes in, surrounding it or reflecting on it or whatever, and it isn't a part of that belief system, then there's a very real initial impulse to push that away.
To repel.
And to defend or get defensive or go on an offense, like take that posture. And so there's that,
Yeah, and one thing to consider also is that most of us are born into a belief system that we don't understand even. We're given some sort of a foundation of how to interpret the world through our parents, through our teachers, through a set of peers,
our ancestors,
through our television sets, through our, internet media digestion. We grow up learning to believe things before we're even able to look at the world and kind of critically analyze it and try to understand it for ourselves. So whether we grow up in religion or with hardcore political activist parents or what have you, most of us end up with a belief system out of the gates, which we don't even understand and which the people that have taught it to us don't even understand. So one of the reasons I feel that people get so defensive when you start questioning their belief structures is that they don't have the answers. You have your world built up as this card castle of ideas without a real foundation underneath of understanding the why I believe this. What evidence do I have? What makes this point of view work and accurate and strong and reliable in the world? So when you have holes punctured in that, it starts to, I would say also your belief structure is very much tied to your identity, to your ego.
Yeah.
Like I am a conservative. I am a Democrat. I am a Catholic. I am a, put a label on. I am even like a skater. I'm a stoner. I believe that weed's awesome. Whatever it is that you believe.
Yeah.
And so when your belief system is structured, it very much feels like you yourself are being threatened. Your identity is being threatened to some degree. And I've had some of my most interesting conversations with people that are very, very dogmatic in certain aspects of their life. And you mentioned the whole like repelling the anti-idea. And I've seen people get to the point where all they can do is just be loud and just basically put their fingers on their ears and say, la, 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 I can't hear you, la, la, la. And, you know, it's a childish thing. We've all done it as kids. But when you grow up without defining what you believe and why you believe it, you know, it kind of stunts you in that area.
Well, and I think that, you know, like what you're talking about in that situation is like, I think a lot of humans have not learned how to, it's kind of like that codependency I was talking about, right? And the healthy aspect of that, you know, that inner emotional, a healthy emotional interdependence. And if you have that, then you don't need this to tell you're okay or you're right, or, you know, because what's happening is that this reflection then is threatening the foundation, because this is where the belief is creating this reflection that makes me feel okay in the world. And I think that's why in religion especially, everybody needs to believe the same thing, because there's something about that collective that we all feel safe and secure, because everywhere we look, you believe that, you believe that. It's like, yes, 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 yes. But if you have something reflect something different, like, no, you're like, what? Then you have to question yourself. You have to, you know, it's like, it can get very uncomfortable. So I think that that's true. It's like, what is that mechanism? Like, how can we as individuals feel secure in our own choices and beliefs in a way that leaves it open to keep hearing and seeing other things? Right? So how can the belief stay open-ended? How can I say this is what I believe? Because isn't that what kind of science is?
That's exactly what science is.
Yeah, science is like, this is the truth here and now. Like, but they're always open. Science is always open and looking for that next answer, though.
Well, and let me make a distinction.
Yeah.
There's a very rigid scientific dogma, which is also created. So
That's
science,
true.
not so much, but the scientific method
Yeah.
is inquiry. We're going to look,
the
we're going
model.
to test, we're going to try, we're going to refine what we believe. The
Yeah.
scientific method, I actually find to be spiritual almost.
Yeah.
It's just a following of your curiosity, really, is what it is. And I think it's the most pure way to advance your own understanding of the world is through trial and error, through observation of the world on your own,
Yeah.
and probing it. And we all do it. You know, as a young man, you know, my parents tell me the rules, and I test them. I have to like see where those rules actually are, figure out what those boundaries actually mean, what are the consequences, what can I get away with, right? So we have to probe, we have to test the waters, we have to come to our own conclusions to really understand why the world is a certain way.
Yeah, and how could that conversation gone different rather than somebody ending up speaking loud, going, "Oh, I can't hear you"? I mean, what? You know, this is just an inquiry in this moment, because I'm thinking like, how can I apply this to my life? What would have happened if instead the conversation would have stayed at a like nobody's bad or wrong, and the anger was down, and it was like, well, I don't understand this point. How, explain to me more of this, you know, and looking for, and then maybe even part of the conversation is like, where are we similar?
Well,
Where are we similar in this belief?
with some of those people, one person in particular, that conversation years later did come back around. And the main thing that had shifted, I think, was that their belief had changed to the point that they valued and thought that believing that being curious was a integral part of their life. You have to want to be curious.
Right.
You have to find a value in
Right.
in using that and acting that in the world.
Because a lot of these beliefs, I feel like, get so distorted that they actually go out and kill other people, thinking it's for God or it's the right thing to do.
It's
right?
happened from time to time.
Right. So, I mean, there's all the nuances on this scale of belief, right? And what people do and, you know, how, yeah. So it is interesting to, you know, it always makes me come back to like, what is that emotional element in talking or sharing your belief or whatever that can get out of control when it goes to that negative side, you know? Like, what is that emotion? What is that trigger that suddenly it goes way off the tracks?
Yeah.
You know?
What is the trigger?
I don't know, because I'm thinking about that for myself, because I've definitely noticed, I have a lot of beliefs and they're being triggered constantly. And it's funny because I recently have been watching a lot of I have been very consciously watching programs and people and podcasts that I absolutely oppose, that I do not believe what they believe. And I've been purposely watching them. Yeah, purposely watching them because I want to practice what we're always talking about. I want to practice like how to deal with this flare up of anger or this injustice or like whatever this thing is that gets tripped up in me, and practice how to deal with that conflict with opposing beliefs. And then noticing how when it's somebody who is in alignment with what I believe, I notice how I get so happy and and I get this like kind of like puff, like, yeah, like there's this feeling of like justice and, like
Vindication.
yeah, it's weird. And I've just been watching myself shift and move. And here's what's really interesting. When I first started watching these personalities, oh my gosh, sometimes it's so hard. It is so hard. I mean, I am just going to like lose my shit.
It's like nails on chalkboard.
Oh my God.
Yep.
But here's what's interesting. Because I've been practicing and doing this, I'm starting to stay calm and centered, knowing that whatever they're saying, it has no impact on me in my life. It has no impact on my belief. I keep coming back to that place where, and I've even been finding commonalities now where they'll say stuff and you know what? I actually agree with them on this. And the opposite is true in the other way. People that I've always aligned with, I'm hearing things like, you know what? No, I'm not in alignment with that. So with my belief system, it's going back to what you're saying, I have actually been practicing how to just observe and inquiry and find the nuggets, because there is no way that we are all going to agree on everything and like everything. It's healthy to have parts of relationships that work and don't work, and I think the more that I can come to that understanding and not have it affect my inner world, I don't know.
Well, let's do a quick test.
Yeah.
What do you believe?
Oh my God. That's too big.
Just one belief, one core belief. What do you believe?
One really core belief is what you put out into the world is what you're going to receive.
Okay.
That's one belief.
And then why?
Because I have recognized that if I'm mad or I'm hateful or I'm judgmental and I'm going around and that's how I'm behaving in everywhere I go, it seems like that's what starts coming back to me. People seem to be hateful and judgmental. But if I am like trying to understand a person, and whether I'm working in a relationship, whatever, I try to like understand their point of view and treat them, the way I want to be treated. It seems like it's more peaceful, and it seems like the world starts reflecting back to me that.
So just through trial and error, through self-observation.
Through trial and error, yep.
That you believe that and you act upon that principle.
Exactly. And lots of failure.
Sense. Yep. But you know the why.
Yeah, I know the why.
Yep.
And I've experienced it.
Yeah.
How about
time
you?
And time again. How about me? What?
Yeah. What's a belief?
My biggest belief probably is I believe in the golden rule. I believe do unto others as you would have, act with kindness, act not just with kindness, but act with, what would be the right word for this? Act to benefit those around me. And it's tough. It's tough because obviously sometimes there's people doing things that I feel are out of alignment and hurting their own family or hurting the friends around them. What do you say? How much do you say? How much do you intervene? I don't want to be a complete, prick and ruin a relationship at the same time. Life takes some diplomacy.
Yes.
But in general, I try to act out of helping the other person be in a better place.
I would say that's absolutely true about you.
Yeah, and I that's a belief that Sure, I have evidence for, I guess, just because I, have a good group of people around me. I could say that's evidence to the fact that me being good to them has fostered good relationships, good friendships, good family. But more than having evidence for that particular belief, that's almost more of a example of faith. I don't particularly have a lot of evidence to back that one up, but I choose to believe in the golden rule because it just fundamentally makes so much sense to me. And I can see that if everybody did practice that, this world would be, and because a lot of people do practice that, is a pretty miraculous and beautiful place for the most part.
Yeah. And so you feel like rather than coming to this from an evidence-based point of view, what you're saying is that this is more like faith-driven.
This is a chosen belief. And I think talking about this, we can distinguish belief kind of in two camps. You have belief of the world as you have seen it and as you have learned to understand it. And you also have belief that you choose.
Yeah.
And I think there's some overlap there,
Yeah.
Do we believe in gravity because it's all around us every day forever? Or do we choose gravity? I'd say gravity is more of a observational belief. It's like, yeah, if I throw this apple up, it's going to come back down.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Yeah.
But yeah, faith is more of a choice. And I definitely do have faith in some things as well.
Yeah, I do too, for sure. I mean, for sure.
Absolutely, for sure.
For sure. Yeah, that's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, it's like what I really enjoy about these conversations is that I always feel like it's, being here on the spot and just talking about things that come up, not rehearsing, it is an exercise in expansion anyway. I feel like it is an exercise of opening up, and it's also a exercise in trusting that what's coming up and what you want to say and how it fits is what is right for right now.
Yeah.
So I think that's already part of this, what we're talking about, this belief and that faith and whatever. But it also really helps for the next week or two, recognizing in the moment, noticing a belief in real time. Oh, here's a belief I have. And then recognizing like, oh, wow, my dander's up about this belief right now. Why am I feeling threatened? And why? And then watching that and observing and like, well, where can I find that foundational, independent strength in myself that has nothing to do with what they believe and what they do?
Yeah.
And not letting that have an impact and still living the golden rule, regardless of what's coming at me. Absolutely. In this moment. And I think that is such a powerful tool, as we're just talking about. I'm like, wow, that'll bring a lot of personal change. Just that exercise.
It definitely could.
Right?
Being inquisitive, being curious about how we work, becoming an expert in ourselves. One more thing that your example kind of tied into, which I've always thought about, and it's always fascinated me. There's this phrase that is kind of timeless, which is, I'll believe it when I see it. And, from a scientific lens, it kind of makes perfect sense. I'll believe in aliens when they come down, know. I'll believe in ghosts when they, push me. Yeah, when they screw with me. So we both believe in those.
Yeah, we do.
Aliens not so much yet. But I'll believe it when I see it. What about the inverse? I feel like the inverse might be even more true. You see what you believe. You see what you believe. I think, does our belief manifest our reality? Does our belief manifest into our lives? There's a lot of people that have talked about that, right? There was that thing like The Secret, which was like, you have to practice consciously visualizing and creating something in your mind, and then it can become a reality. There's some truth to that. If you believe you can go out and start a business and then you do it, like that took belief. It took kind of a leap of faith for a lot of people when they do it. Does our belief manifest our reality around us?
I would say 100%.
Yeah? That's a lot of percents.
I do. I believe that. And I think it goes both ways. I don't think it's just a one-way road. I don't think our beliefs create our environment. I think that continually playing off each other. I think what we think and what we believe definitely create a world around us. And then that world around us can also reflect things that then can help change our belief, you know? So I think it's a symbiotic.
It's a dance.
It's a dance. I think it's like a infinity sign, you know? And it's like, and it's like everything we talk about, the yin and yang, the polarity. I think everything is pushing and pulling. Everything is reflecting and, you know, like I think that's part of this matrix is, and it's definitely part of our belief systems, because I have beliefs now that I didn't have when I was 12, right?
Yeah.
And some things have changed, some things have morphed, some things I've disregarded altogether. Like what I think my belief about God has changed significantly.
Yep, me too.
So, yeah, so I think that's a really interesting point. And so there's that other piece of like this thing of like paying attention to what we're seeing, paying attention to the pain. Because I think it's always saying like, are you where you want to be? Is your belief creating the world you want to live in?
That's a good question. Well, and like you said also, it's like when you go into the world and you're angry, that's because you're believing that somebody's screwing with you in most cases. And then you attract more people screwing with you, more people cutting you off,
Right.
or people being rude in the supermarket,
Yes.
however it might form. You know, if you believe the world is inhabited by Nazis everywhere and they're all out trying to get you, you're going to walk around, you're going to see evidence of that. You're going to be like, oh, that guy probably is, and that's probably their clubhouse. Like you manifest, like the way that you see the world is filtered through your beliefs.
Yeah.
So I think I think your entire worldview does shift drastically based on what you choose to believe and also what the evidence is showing you throughout your lifetime.
And then taking, you know, responsibility for if you don't like your belief or you don't like what you're seeing, then change something. Again, take that independence, healthy relationship and change. I want to tell a quick story about that because it's interesting you brought that up, because yesterday Jim and I went for a morning walk at Forest Park, and it was a beautiful morning, and we're coming across people. I'm like, hello, like good morning. And that's just who I am. And I would say the first 4 or 5 people were just kind of like, you know, would just look at me and like, what is wrong with you, lady? Or, you know, just wasn't very open and didn't reciprocate the friendly gesture, whatever.
Humbug.
Right. And in the past, I would have been like, wow, people are just really unfriendly. And, you know, I'm like, what the hell? But I just kept being like, I'm feeling like I want to be open. And what was interesting is that I had that conscious thought of like, or people are grumpy, and I'm like, well, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just, you know, like waking up, or, you know, like I changed that thought, and I kept my belief of wanting to connect and smile and say good morning to people. And about halfway through the walk, it absolutely shift. And everybody was like, oh, hi, you know, and everybody was reciprocating that joy, and even other people were initiating like, good morning. And it was like, and I got back to the car and I was sharing that with Jim, like, wow, that was so interesting how that belief, you know, and then I caught myself. I'm like, well, you know, like maybe people are just, you know, just be you and not expecting, you know, and then it just shifted that belief and it shifted that experience. Yeah.
That's great.
So, I mean, that's a real time story. And so what I really love about this topic and this conversation is that I am walking out this door. It's like, I'm going to start paying attention to what's being created and what that belief is, you know? So I like that. I like it a lot. And then how to keep honoring my pain, you know?
Believe in that pain.
Believe in that pain. It's here to help me. There's my belief.
Yep.
Pain's here to help me.
Probably might be.
Yeah. Anyway, that's good. Yeah, I feel full.
Full, but my coffee cup's almost empty.
I know, mine is too. Time to go.
That's the sign. You gotta listen to the signs in this world.
The signs.
Yep.
Yeah, it seemed like there was one more thing. It's like something about you were saying too. It's like we talked about that before. I can't remember. Anyway, sorry, segue. It's not coming through. So let's leave that for another day.
Cutting room floor. It'll never happen.
Yep, ain't gonna happen.
Yep.
Anyway.
It's been real. Been a pleasure.
Yeah.
You feel good?
I feel good. I feel complete. Yep, I feel complete.
I don't think, I could probably find some more tangents to go off on. My brain works that way, sporadic enough, but I think I'm good too.
Yeah, I think it's been really great. It's been great to connect, and hope that all of you have found some little nuggets that you can take back into your next 2 weeks. And we just thank you for everybody for your comments and your support through this process, and we love it.
Stay curious.
Yeah.
Keep asking questions.
Yep.
Become an expert in you.
Yep. Sounds good. All right. Be well, everybody. We'll see you in a couple weeks. All right. Big love.
Bye.